Perfect pairs, Scotty. What I think is a really, really cool combo, I've always said this, Explorer 2 and Speedy. Two different brands. One's automatic, one's manual. One has a date, one doesn't. A black dial and a white dial. One's a chronograph, the other one's a GMT function watch. Isn't that a perfect pair?
Oh, they're two very nice pieces. I actually prefer the Explorer 1 and the Explorer 2 as a perfect pairing.
I see. How about if you had an Explorer 1 with a Speedy? Could you do that as a perfect pair?
Oh, you could. Speedy will go well with anything.
Speedy goes well. What do you think? Is that as a pair?
Yeah, I mean, it was fine with the Explorer 2 as well, how you had it.
Yeah,
it's just for me, I just think Explorer 1 and Explorer 2.
Yeah, or as a three-piece combo deal, how's that? It's a very interesting way to do things, Scotty. I don't know what to say.
You going back to the Explorer 2, if you put down the Explorer 1 and have the Speedy and the Explorer 2.
Yes.
Two pieces. What's that going to pre-owned market?
Pre-owned market, you
for both.
Look, you get one of these for US, and you get one of these for like $2.5 US, $6.5 US for a perfect combo deal pair.
And if you're really savage and you're good at hunting down deals, do you think you might even be able to get it lower than that? Or
you can. Yeah. Clyde bought an older Explorer 2. It didn't have the solid end links and it was a Holes case. He paid low threes.
Low threes?
Low threes.
And you get a Speedy for...
say 2?
If you really...
it's a little bit rough one.
Yes.
Okay. $5 US for a combo deal pair. What do you think of that? Could you go wrong with that sort of pair?
No, not at all. And you'd advise your fans that that's a good
well, I think it's a great combo. You've got two completely different watches. I mean, when you have a pair, I mean, you can have. The only thing that I don't like about
what do you look at when you're pairing?
Well, you want to have
watches?
something. You want to have something that complements each other, don't you? You know what I mean?
Different complications or
different
colours?
I like the dials, two different dials, a white and a black.
Okay.
Black and white,
Yes.
I like two different brands, can be good too.
Yes.
And they're similar brands, like it's not, one doesn't overpower the other. You know what I mean? You've got one's an automatic, one's a manual wind. One is Halcylite, one is Sapphire. You've got, one's got a date, one doesn't have a date.
They should both be iconic models, do you think? Or...
Well, I mean, the Explorer is not as iconic as a GMT. You can have a Pepsi here. Well, but then it's not a white dial.
You don't want to pair up a high tier with a low tier piece, do you?
Well, you can do anything. You can do anything you want there, but I kind of saying you don't want to overpower it. If one's very expensive, one's a cheapie. It kind of loses the you're going to wear the expensive one.
The interesting thing is about Speedies, even people who own Pateks, Vacherons,
they love the Speedies.
They love Speedies. They'll have one in their collection.
They love the Speedy,
even though they're a fraction of the price. If you're comparing here to Pateks. They still love to have a Speedy in their collection. They love to
have a Speedy. Speedy's such a good watch.
And it's one of the only...
And actually, the funny thing is, I had a good talk to Ronnie from Brisbane Vintage Watches a couple of years ago. And I remember him saying to me, he goes, the best watch to buy. Right? We were talking, what's the best? He said, the movement inside Speedmaster is so legendary.
Okay.
He's saying it's even better than, he said, much better than a Datejust. Much better than, he said it gives, the movement in this here gives the AP, because it's a module, they add that chronograph module on top of them. He said, much better than that. He said, it really is an amazing, if you want to be a true watch, this is what Ronnie said, you want to be a true watch lover, get a Speedy.
Speedy.
And it's interesting. it's not a watch that is super expensive. It's quite affordable.
But even super wealthy people with a really
yes, they could have anything. They love the Speedy. They really do love the Speedmaster, and I got to tell you, in all honesty,
there's not many other pieces for around 3,000 to 4,000 Australian, so 2.5 to 3 US that you could put in.
It's probably the greatest, sports watch. Collection. You could almost argue, is it more popular than the Submariner? What's the iconic sports watch? When you say sports watch, what do you think of? Do you think either Submariner or Speedmaster?
I'd be interested to know the sales, the sales numbers.
Yeah,
who sells more, Speedies or Subs?
Well, the only problem with that is that Rolex doesn't release figures, and Omega's. I think Omega, the worst thing they do is they release too many limited editions. They are discounting. I got to tell you, they are discounting, and that has affected the market for Speedmasters. They are discounting. They seem. I don't understand why they.
Is this the only Omega model that has pretty much been the same since its conception? Like, it hasn't. They've tweaked it and done a little bit. Of some minor changes.
It's quite amazing how much is so.
It's
original.
It's pretty much their only piece that has stayed the same.
Yes.
Over the
over
the decades.
Yes. But they did try to change it. They had the Speedmaster Mark II.
Didn't work.
Well, I like it, but NASA told them to get stuff. They said, "Oh, we've already certified this one. We're not going to waste time with They I think they were very upset with the Americans. The Americans can be very, because this is essentially a 1950s watch. You know that, the Starling cues. Like you look at this watch, it's 1950s because it's made, even though it's 42 mil, it's made to wear much smaller. Because the emphasis wasn't to make it large. You look at the fins, like the lugs here. That's very 50s. It's not a 70s. The Speedmaster Mark II was 70s. That's very integrated bracelet. The 70s is like Gerald Gentry. That type of design there. The Speedmaster is very much 1950s design icons.
Is that when it came out in the late
50s?
Sorry, mid
50s,
to late 50s.
Late 50s. So,
and it hasn't changed that much.
Not that much. I mean, you've got it was slightly smaller. It didn't have the crown guards, but it very quickly became like this. In the 60s, it was looked like this.
And it hasn't changed since.
Hasn't changed much. They always changed. It's gone from an 861 movement to a 1861, which is basically a rhodium plated. I think it's rhodium something plated. Instead of it being yellow metal, it's all white metal. There's a few little things they've done there.
And Omega wouldn't dare compromise that by putting in say they update it with a ceramic bezel. Would that destroy it?
They've had the broad arrow. They had a steel bezel. The broad arrow. Yes. Speedmaster broad arrow, which was the thing about Omega is, this is the thing that's so annoying, is that they had the broad arrow, which is supposed to be a throwback to the original Speedmaster. The original Speedmaster had a steel bezel, right? Okay. It went to this bezel very quickly, right?
Yes.
So the steel bezel one, and it also had the big broad arrow hands. Then they brought out a special version called the Omega Speedmaster Professional Broad Arrow, which had those cues. Then they bring out a reissue of the original one. And thinking, well, I thought the broad arrow was a tribute to the original one. See, they've got any excuse to bring out a version. Any excuse.
It turns a lot of people off Omega.
Well, Panerai did the same thing. Apparently it works for sales. They sell a lot more. That's what they're a business. You got to remember this. These Swiss, they're a business. They care about one thing. It's money.
Does the Speedmaster sell very well worldwide? Does it do better in certain continents than others?
It's had its lean times. I mean, you've got to remember too, the Speedmaster line, they had a quartz version. Remember the Speedmaster quartzes? You had the X31. They've tried. It's a bit like Porsche. Porsche tried to kill off the 911. They had the 911, then they had the 928, which was that's the V8 front-engine car that was supposed to take over from the 911. But the customers, no, they wanted the 911. And that's what's kind of happened with the Speedmaster. It's like the Porsche 911. They tried to kill it off. They said, well, this is an old design, old this, it's engines in the rear and dee-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee. But the customers have driven the 911 to what it is today. Same as the Speedmaster. The customers have bought it and loved it. And I got to tell you the truth. I really think the Speedmaster, they won't do that anymore. They're not going to muck around with it. Because
could they bring back, keep everything the same, the aesthetics the same, but in a 3-2-1 movement, not as a limited edition, just bring it back, just bring back the 3-2-1 and sell both. But of course, it'd be slightly more expensive, maybe $3,000 or $4,000 more. Would that be a good move by Amiga? I mean, a lot of fans would go nuts over that, wouldn't they?
Look, they'd have to charge more. They'd have to charge more.
Well, they're going to make more money. A lot of
but there's the parts. There's a lot more parts in a 3-2-1 movement than an 8-6-1 movement. The actual part number.
Well, how much more would they have to?
It might be double the price.
Fans would probably still they'd probably still buy them.
Hard to say. Hard to say. Well, the funny thing is, whenever they've brought out reissues, like they've got that new 50th, what is it, 50th or 60th anniversary? What the hell is that?
Oh, I've given up on the.
I think it's the 60th. They got those 3 watches in the trilogy, right?
Yes.
They actually still use they've never really had the movement. They've never really put the 3-2-1 movement back in.
Well, I just thought they had keep it. It's still the Amiga Speedmaster Professional.
Yeah, with the 3-2-1 movement.
Just with the 3-2-1. So
no,
don't change the dial, keep everything the same.
I think, well, they must have considered it.
Maybe they could just put maybe no crown guards, perhaps, or just slightly different lugs.
I think, to be honest with you,
3-2-1,
I'm surprised. You know, I tell you honestly, I'm surprised.
From a marketing perspective, why aren't they doing it?
Well, they've tried doing it. They've got so many versions. You know that they already do.
But as an ongoing, they're
Swiss. They're interested in money. They want interested in money.
Well, okay. I think it would be a.
I agree with you. I think a 3-2-1 that came back out, that'd be amazing. You'd want one, wouldn't you?
Yes. And just have so you got 2 Amiga Speedmaster Professionals, the current lineup there, and the other one double the price with a 3-2-1. I
agree. Why don't they do it? I don't know why they don't. I don't know why. There's many things.
Forget about all this other crap with the limited editions and wasting their money on.
Well, they like that stuff. They must sell for them because they wouldn't do it if there wasn't money in it. I can tell you they would not do these things. Their
latest America's Cup edition. I think that was a bit of a disaster, wasn't it? I saw some videos of that online. They or was it the Seamaster? They did it. It was a limited edition America's Cup. I think it was on the New Zealand team. It had 30 meter water resistance.
I see.
On a Seamaster or something, on a.
Yeah, I know. Well, the Seamaster name has been used on many things which aren't even that waterproof. Seamaster, masters the sea.
That's if you look at their vintage pieces. Amiga just puts Seamaster on everything, even though it's not a diver.
Yes.
On dress watches,
yes.
Seamaster.
It's almost as poisonous as Geneve.
Yes.
But no, there you go. Amiga Speedmaster. Buy it.